So today, I got asked a question if I was a healthy eater. I actually was the one to pose it to the other person who then posed it back to me. And after thinking about it, it's weird. I was saying, am I a healthy eater? The average person would think an elite eater when it comes to the choices that I make when I dine in. But me, I always look at it as a work in progress, and I'm always looking at the people that are better than me and trying to get there. That person, in my eyes, is Brian Johnson. Not to say not saying Brian Johnson sponsoring this video. I just view that as someone who's optimized their diet for their goals. You could look at Alex Hormozy, who actually put together a piece that I read about earlier this week about how he gained like 60 pounds of muscles in 30 days or some crazy number. That could be off. But he ate essentially until he was completely stuffed for every single meal. God knows how many calories it was. He said he couldn't even sleep at night because he was rolling around in pain. One sec, getting my dog. We're back. Because he was rolling around in pain, and I'm not gonna say that's healthy eating, but what I'll say is he had a goal and he ate and did everything he possibly could to get aligned with that goal. Brian Johnson, longevity. Alex Hormozy, bulking up. Jack Rumberg. The issue is he doesn't really know his goals. I don't know my personal goals with food, so I just make overall healthy decisions. But I have decided that longevity is more interesting to me than bulking up. Not at this point, but I know in 3 months from now, I'm going to have to adjust my diet because I believe I will be signing up for the New York City Marathon. So with the New York City Marathon, if I'm marathon training, I'm gonna have to eat a lot more than I am right now in order to not lose weight. The average person in this world has an issue with keeping their weight off. No, keeping their weight, I don't know, keeping their weight off. Like they don't wanna gain weight. For me, it's the opposite. I've always had a problem of losing too much weight because it's just like a default mechanism for me. For whatever reason, I don't eat a lot of junk food or whatnot. It's not like I'm a perfect eater all the time, but okay, it's not that I eat junk food all the time, but I would say that is my primary issue. So recently, I have decided to be a little more mindful about the food that I've consumed. The mindfulness is not perfect. Actually, let's go back a little bit. Why am I even making this video? I would be making a video about this without having gotten into olive oil. So I've had an obsession with food for a long period of time. I've started an olive oil brand which taught me that, hey, if you're gonna see really cool things in the world, you probably should video it. And then after videoing it, I'm like, hey, I don't know what to do with this video. So I started to, well, it was a couple of things. One, I started to learn how to edit because I felt like with the olive oil brand, in order for me to spread the word, I should learn how to turn the stories that I'm accumulating into content for people to consume. It didn't actually turn out like that. But with that, I learned how to make videos. I built a YouTube channel. I opened up a YouTube channel. I posted a couple videos, but those couple videos were enough of a baseline set of knowledge for me to now make videos going forward. So whenever I feel like it, a day like today where I don't have that much going on, actually I do. I have a lot of things going on, but I decided, hey, I don't go Costco shopping a lot. I went to Costco today and I had planned to buy $45 worth of groceries, but instead I ended up coming out with $210 worth of groceries. And I'm just like, that's interesting. But I was also looking at my shopping cart, and one thought that came into mind was, imagine you went on a dating app, but the only thing you saw was what the other person ate. That'd be crazy. But like, if someone bought this, you'd expect them to be fit or in some capacity interested in their health. But at the same time, people could buy things for themselves at home and eat one way at home, but then another way when they're out with their friends. And then they have this mismatch of like, why am I not looking so good? Why am I gaining weight? You know, maybe it's because of that 10:30 p.m. gyro that you had on Friday night that everyone else had as well. And then the 6 shots that you ripped right after that. But what I'll say is I went to Costco and I bought some food that is prohibited in the household that I'm in right now. But since I'm the only occupier of that household for the time being, I decided to buy the prohibited foods, a la kimchi. Kimchi is something hated by my family, but not by me, so I'm buying it. And this is the first thing that I bought on around a 20 item grocery haul. This is a pretty simple video. I'm just gonna talk about what I bought. Kimchi. I got into kimchi about, I would say like 5 years ago, Charlottesville Farmers Market. I got 2 things under my belt in Charlottesville Farmers Market. Kombucha, that I don't really drink much kombucha anymore. I just find it to be like unnecessary. And then kimchi, which has taken a lot of tries, but eventually that got me into kimchi enough to where when I went to Korean barbecue and I got it on my plate and I started eating it, I'm like, I love kimchi. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it into the Ball mason jars. Ball, shout out Denver, lived there for a bit. And yeah, the pretty clean ingredients. I like how there's no sugar added. I hate when they add sugar to kimchi. Doesn't make sense. Also, you need that anchovy sauce. Oh, it makes it so much better. Or the shrimp paste, anything like that. So kimchi, done. This one I actually returned to Costco, but they put it in my cart for some reason. Edamame, 5 pounds. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. I just wanted a price quote because they didn't actually have a price on there, but got 5 pounds of edamame in the freezer. This will probably last through the summer. Not that I'm gonna be here the whole time, but I got a lot of edamame. Wild caught Alaskan pink salmon. James Sibley, if he ever watches this video, he'll probably be like, oh, it's not actually wild caught. Or maybe he'll say it is. I don't even know what wild caught means. What I do know is that this tastes extremely average, but it's a decent source of protein and it's salmon. Yeah. Actually, at the end of this video, by the way, I'm gonna talk about some of my fears with my diet and things that I wanna work on because obviously it's not perfect. Like Brian Johnson wouldn't be eating what I'm eating, so I just wanna like clarify things a little bit. Yeah, I don't think this tastes that good, but it's just like, if I wanna eat salmon, I'm gonna do it. Done. All right, I have a new favorite peanut butter. And it's not peanut butter, Nutso. I almost cracked it. Nutso, organic. It's like 7-seed butter. Huge fan. Literally addicted. I could eat the whole tub at once, which is a problem. So I have to go really slow and I'll pick it with my spoon like, doop, doop, doop. But like, I actually had one that expired in October and one that expired in December, but now they both expire in December, which is good. I had to like sprint it to get that one. And it's just like 7 different nuts and sea salt. Freaking yummy. Highly recommend for those who want some extra butter in their lives. And it's organic. Organic is an interesting thing too, because like, you know, I saw what went on in organic farm versus a non-organic farm, but at the same time, if you're not testing the products or there really isn't official testing that's going on behind this by the founder, I don't know, like if they don't really care, I just feel like there should be a little bit more transparency behind the testing that goes on to create that organic certification. Like every brand on their website should have organic, here's how we're organic, this is the test that we're getting. Organic to me, I feel like I'm a little skeptical, which is not something that I really should be saying, but I'm just gonna be honest, it's true. Organic cashews. I love cashews. And then non-organic almonds. I've been buying these for a couple of years, honestly, from Costco. I roast them. I did almond milk last week, homemade. Fantastic. We'll be doing that again. Add a little salt. It's so good. And then you take the leftover, you make almond cheese. Let me show you. So after your almond milk is done, you get this, nice. You get this meal. So you take the almonds and you soak it in water overnight, you peel the skin, you then blend almonds and water together, and then you strain it through a cheesecloth. And then after you strain it, you have this meal left over. You add salt, olive oil, and some spices. Tastes like cheese. It's really cool. It's literally almonds, salt, and some other spices, and olive oil. Actually, the olive oil is important. That flavor is very olive oil heavy. Palancino, of course, come on. But out of stock, actually officially today, literally out of stock. So yeah, these are the nuts. I'll be making some cashew milk, almond milk, roasted almonds, roasted cashews, and probably some other things when I do that. And a new nut to add to the portfolio of nuts in the Grunberg household is macadamia nuts. I got macadamia nuts in Mexico City in November, and holy hell, that changed my life. I love macadamia nuts. I was really scared because when I went to the supermarket in Florida, I bought macadamia nuts in this little jar. It was $9, rip off. But then I tasted it and it was totally rancid, disgusting. And I'm like, okay, macadamia nuts are really expensive at the nuts factory. So maybe I'll have to import macadamia nuts myself. Not to say that I won't import macadamia nuts myself. I feel like there's a future in which I do. I saw this at Costco and I'm like, I'm gonna try it. If I don't like it, I'll just go in line and return it. I tried it, I smelled it first, and I'm like, this smells pretty good. Really, it's not that it smells good. It doesn't smell bad. And then I look at it, looks okay. I chew it. It's chewy, a little salty. I wish it was unsalted because I'd rather a little less salt. Thankfully they passed because the return line, 25 people long. Not to say I couldn't return this, it's just, it was ridiculous. Pumpkin seeds. I got nothing else to say. This will be going in my overnight oats. Another overnight oats special. Where are they? Chia seeds. I honestly have no idea what I'm gonna be doing these things. No clue. But I've been making overnight oats recently. I like it. It started with mush. Mush got me into, actually no, it was a Trader Joe's overnight oats that I had at my friend's house in, I think it was June. And I was like, oh my God, these are incredible. So I went to Trader Joe's again, I got them, and then I realized Mush was the original company behind it. So then I went to Mush, got their product, was like, oh my God, so tasty. And then recently, after buying Mush gazillion times, I was like, why don't I just make it? So I made it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm making it from now on. It takes 4 minutes to make. Actually, really, it takes 10 minutes to make, and I make 5 batches at a time. I got my week of overnight oats for way less than it costs for the Mush stuff. And I have control, which you always want. The chia seeds are gonna be added to the overnight oats. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with 3 pounds of them, but there was $9, so I was like, why not? Organic free-range eggs. Costco had a recall on their pasture-raised eggs recently, and I think, even though it wasn't in New York, I think that has caused there to be no pasture-raised eggs in circulation. I'm a pasture-raised freak. I don't really know why, to be honest, but I was like really debating, and I had a struggle, and I'm like, dude, you're not gonna get better prices for eggs. Actually, you might at Trader Joe's, but I was like, screw it. You're eating free-range eggs for the next month, and you'll survive. So I will. All right, couple left. Blueberries, organic. Enough said. Fresh wild flounder fillet. I'm going to be pretty much I think I'm gonna eat this for dinner. Maybe I'll cook an extra and then I'll freeze the rest. So I'll cook a pound, freeze a pound. Pretty easy. Kind of expensive. I didn't get ripped off, but like, I didn't really need this purchase. Where's my wild cod? Almost blueberry spill, but thankfully it's in a good container. This is my Pacific cod. I feel like this price was much better because I'm getting more servings out of it. Yeah. Wild Pacific sardines. My grandfather got me into sardines. I kind of like them, to be honest. I'm sorry to the future woman in my life that is disgusted by them, but yeah, I like sardines. I don't know if I'm gonna eat them forever because I'll tell you my biggest fear at the end. Chicken broth. I've been cooking a lot of beans and lentils and stuff along those lines, and I feel like broth would elevate that. So yeah. The last thing, the box that I used to film, coconut water. The coconut water at Costco is really not that good, but it's cheap, so why not? All right. What's my biggest fear with the food that I'm consuming? What is the package that every single one of these food items is in? Even the canned items. They're all in plastic. What's the issue with plastic? Microplastics. You could say you care a lot about microplastics, but if you really dissect it, it becomes very difficult. This is Costco. This is the cheapest version of healthy food that I'm getting. Everything touches plastics, and I wouldn't say it's scary. I just don't optimize my health for microplastics at the moment. A little bit. Like, I'm not gonna drink. I actually found in Japan there to be a big microplastics issue. In their hot vending machines, they had like coffee in plastic. It was disgusting. Like, you would think Japan's a super healthy country. Not that it's not, but like the vending machines, they have a microplastics issue for sure. I also don't measure it. So I don't really know exactly how much microplastics in each of these items. Like, I don't think the eggs are gonna have a lot of microplastics, but who knows? Maybe the food that the chickens are consuming are stored in plastic, which they definitely are, and then those microplastics themselves will go into the egg. I'm not really sure if that's the case, but the packaging of the egg doesn't really matter that much to me. And the chia seeds, touching plastic, touching plastic, touching plastic, and plastic. Like, everything's in plastic. And then any canned item in plastic. So there is a little bit of that like back of head fear that does exist right now, but that's something that I want to address for real. And it's just like, it's a work in progress. I can't be perfect, but like that's the one critique that I have for my diet. And I really try to sway away from plastic water bottles because I drink water is that number one thing that I consume. So like if I could just at least eliminate plastic from that, that's a good starting point. But yeah, that's the fear. And the last thing I'm gonna end on this video, I mean, you could see my current situation for food. Let me just quickly show. My thing's about to die, but I don't care. Very quickly, rapid fire. So the right fridge is mine, kind of a mess. A little bit nutso left. Everything here is not mine. This is just like grossness, would never eat any of this stuff. Tahini is from my hummus that I made. Left over, the hummus is not in here. The hummus is actually in the freezer. Got a couple onions, some garlic. Mole, this is my international section, haven't used it yet. This is mole from Mexico City, some black miso, and Kyoto matcha that I still have yet to consume. Avocado, lemon, tahini, and then these are some mushrooms in here, more lemons, and then a pomegranate that probably is turned, but yeah. And then my freezer section, vegetables, chicken, more chicken, hummus in here, and then vegetables. And if we go over here, almonds, these are actually my mom's leftover. I prefer glass, but I just don't have enough glass containers. Almonds, these are like roasted almonds and cashews that I did with olive oil. Pine nuts from Mexico, canned salmon, tuna, pasta, I don't really eat pasta. Some quinoa left over, these figs, it's gonna be a while to get through. Oats, Whole Foods, granola, cacao nibs, but I'm gonna replace the cacao nibs with cocoa powder. Like, yes, it's a plant-based superfood, and I've been doing dark chocolate for a long time, but after listening to Brian Johnson, I'm like, dude, if you're getting the nutrition from it, do it right. I like chocolate for sure, but might as well do cocoa powder, because per calorie that comes into your body, you're getting more nutrients, so why not do that? Tastes just as good. Quinoa here, lentils here, dried mushrooms, this will last forever. Dano seasoning, and then a set of tweezers, and D vitamin. I am a little deficient in the vitamin D category. Aren't we all in the winter? Cheers. One last thing before we end this video, the last bit of advice I'm going to give to myself in the future. Actually, I'm not giving myself advice in the future. I read this book in April, really changed my life. And this is not an endorsement of the book, I'm just talking. And I'm holding it up for some reason. I reread like a chapter last night, and one thing really stuck to me. Tim Ferriss, by the way. He's like, imagine your workday was shrunk into only 2 hours. Like, list what you did, and if you did that, would you be happy with the result of your day if you did that? So if my workday was shrunk into 2 hours, my priority right now is income. And 2 days ago, I was like, all right, like I need to trim out all the fat from my day that is not related to income. Now, 48 hours later, this has nothing to do with my income. This is all passion. Not to say that my future income doesn't have to do with this. I think the food industry is definitely something I'm gonna be in. Like, it's a passion for me. I am just looking to find my steady level right now of overall income in whatever capacity that is. And at that point where like, I feel like I'm steady enough where I could kind of take that next risk of like, not the quitting the job leap, but the leap in risk standpoint and spending a lot of time on a project that might not pay a lot of money. I do want it to be in food. Like not to say that that will definitely happen, but like I'm really interested in the world. I was listening to Mr. Beast talk to Colin and Samir on Colin and Samir's podcast, came out yesterday, and like him talking about cocoa sourcing was really cool, and it really hit home for me. I didn't deal with those types of issues, but I was exposed to a certain level of the issues that he discussed when I was on olive oil farms. And I just was thinking like, this is stuff that I really enjoy doing, solving problems around food and helping people make healthier decisions. That would be something that is part of my future career passion project. People say, what do you want to do with your life? That would be great. But what do you want to do with your life in the future? You could make it now, but like I need to prioritize other things that I didn't necessarily realize in 2022. But yeah, so that's a video. Subscribe for some almond cheese. It's not gonna focus on the almond cheese. I'm just gonna eat it.